Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm Simon and today is the beginning of a new reading vlog and one with a special bookshop twist, as today is Sunday the 20th of June, the last day of spring a ding ding ding. I have just stepped out of the shower or just stepped out of the salon. I don't know why I've had that in my head all morning. Do any of you remember that advert? Maybe not. Anyway, today is last day of spring, but it's also the second day of Independent Bookshop Week here in the UK, and so as I'm travelling around the country over the next week, I'm only packing Shuggie Bain, which is apt for Indie Bookshop Week, as this is me and Melanie's book club pick, and me and Melanie are the official book club for Independent Bookshop Week. That video will already be live, so I'll link it down below. The reason I'm only taking one book is because as the week goes on, I have been very kindly given a book voucher from the lovely folk, well, it's a book token, sorry, a national book token from the lovely folk at Books My Bag who run Independent Bookshop Week. And I am going to be buying the books as I go and reading them. I need to play the taxi bingo game, I call it, which is seeing if I can actually get one on this side of the water in order to get to the station. And then off we go to first destination this week, London. Right, so I've just checked in, but I'm going to head straight out because I want to head to an independent bookshop to see what I can get to read after I finish Shuggie Bain. And I've heard there's one amazing one called Ink 84. Cara at Books in My Bag recommended it to me, and it's open till I think about 5, so I've got a little bit of time to get there. And yes, I'm going to go straight out again. I'm back from the bookshop, which was stunning. It looks like a lamp is growing out of my head. I promise it's not. And I got 2 books. So I thought I'd share them with you before I edit a video for tonight, which I forgot I hadn't done. And it's probably going to take quite a long time because it's lots of small clips and snippets that I need to sort of put into. Anyway, blah. I bought 2 books. One for myself, which was The Employees, a workplace novel of the 22nd century by Olga, Ravn, and translated from the Danish by Martin Aitken. It's from a small press called Lolly. This was up for the International Booker Prize, which I was quite interested in the shortlist this year, seeing Kieran talk about it live on his channel, but it was actually seeing CJ Reed's talk about this that made me go, right, I really need to get to it. Blimey, that really is growing out of my head now. From what I gather, it's about a spaceship that is filled with humans and humanoids, and you can't quite tell which is which as they look at objects that they've just found. So interesting. And then I got Melanie a copy of Summerwater by Sarah Moss, because when I was reading it in Wales, I told her about it because it made me think of her, because there's a certain character in it and a certain chapter that I think she will really find both funny and brilliant. So I picked it up, and frankly I want to buy as much Sarah Moss for other people as possible. Anyway, I need to get editing, so I will catch up with you later. So I've just spent about 2 hours editing and uploading a spring highlight slash favourite things slash favourite moments video, and now that that's up and live, I'm gonna go and get myself some wahaka. I haven't eaten there for ages and I'm so excited. Dinner was delicious. I really love Oaxaca food. It's basically like a Mexican tapas and it's gorgeous. So that was nice. And not that I'm obsessed with food, but I am now already thinking about the hotel breakfast tomorrow, because who doesn't love a hotel breakfast? Anyway, I'm not here to talk to you about food. I'm here to talk to you about Shuggie Bain, which I'll have given you some thoughts when I talk about it with Melanie on this channel already for our book club, which, as I mentioned, is the Independent Bookshop Week official book club, which is very exciting. But I read this last year, and I can't remember if I vlogged or talked about it much, because I read it really quickly because I was hosting an event for Waterstones with Douglas Stuart about Shuggie Bain. And I think I still say it wrong. I don't think it's, or is it Shuggie, not Shuggie? I think it's Shuggie. Anyway, so this book starts off in the 90s when we meet Shuggie when he is older, sort of get to know a bit about his life, reflecting on the past, and then we head right back to the 1980s in Glasgow where we meet his mother Agnes when he's very little, and the life that she's living with all of her children in her parents' house. And we then follow on as we get to know more about Agnes and how her relationships are. Some of them are very, very difficult, both with her parents and with her, well, the father of her children, Big Shug. And it's quite a dark, difficult read. There is abuse in here, and it's how she turns to alcohol. I'm about halfway through rereading it, and I'd forgotten how utterly gorgeous the language is. I do think sometimes it's slightly overwritten, but that's a debut thing, but I forgive it that because the writing is so stunning. So sometimes when we dwell on things for a little bit longer, like there was one chapter that was really long, and I have a thing about long chapters anyway, but I don't mind it if the whole book is long chapters, but this is a bit more here and there. But I'd also forgotten how much with this the women at the centre stage, like when we first meet Shuggie when he's 15 pretending to be 16, and he's working in a supermarket. The women at the supermarket are such big they've got such big roles in his life, even though he's often overhearing them, but then does go out with them sometimes. And I'd forgotten how much Agnes's mum, Lizzie, is part of the book, and the women. There's a brilliant scene at the beginning where they are trying on bras, or they're getting new bras. Anyway, the women's voices really, really sing. Whilst the men are not great, what I like is that Douglas Stuart looks at why they're not great. It's not just black and white villainous. I'm enjoying giving it a reread. I think I've got about 150, maybe 200 pages left, so hopefully I will get all of that read tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It is Monday morning, and I didn't read masses more of Shuggie last night, so I'm going to read some more now before I go and check out if there is a breakfast buffet. I'm waiting for the return of the breakfast buffet, I won't lie. I won't be disappointed if there's not a buffet. Well, mildly. And then I need to get ready because I'm giving a presentation to the Board of Trustees. I can't speak. I need to be able to speak for that. I'm giving a presentation to the Board of Trustees about my BBC Novels That Shaped Our World Libraries programme and how that's changed and evolved and what all the latest is and what libraries are doing. And then I've got to get changed again very quickly to go and dash, I can't see my hand dashing, to the studios to record some more episodes of the BBC Sounds podcast that I'm doing, which is about novels that shaped our world, reading, books, libraries. We've got some great guests and stuff, and I get to hang out with Dan and Renison, who are my lovely co-hosts. So yeah, really, really looking forward to that. Then I might try and go to a bookshop first. More Shuggie, because it's book club recording tomorrow, and then breakfast. Hi everyone, I am pooped. I'm also wearing a Spice Girls t-shirt. I wore that, as you've seen, when we were recording. It got lots of compliments. Anyway, I finished Shuggie Bain. I'm lying down because I'm honestly so shattered. I've walked around loads. I'm trying to do loads more walking at the moment when I can, because I went off for an adventure to go to London review of books, but more on what I bought in a minute. Anyway, I finished Shuggie Bain, and as with the first time, I thought it was brilliant. I enjoyed it much more this time because I read it at a slower pace. I do think there are parts where it could have been edited just a little bit. Some of the stuff when we meet Eugene, I felt went on quite a while. But I think also part of it is, oh, that's looking pretty, isn't it? And part of it is the cyclical nature of addiction. And so maybe that's why that's the case. But yeah, as you'll have seen, I'll have talked about it with Melanie in much more detail and probably a more cohesive way. And then I went to London Review of Books and I bought 2 books. I move around because that wasn't the most flattering angle. First up, I got myself a book I already have, The Mission House by Carys Davies. This is the paperback, and I picked it up and I always flicked through when a paperback of a book I loved in hardback came out, and I was really thrilled and shocked to see a quote, don't know if you can see that, from me in it, so I had to have it because that's going to go on my bookshelves, because I've had a quote in one of her books before, and whenever there's a book that I get quoted on, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's both magical, surreal, and just unbelievable. I want to have one for my personal library. And then the other book that I got, which is a backup book in case, so I might be coming back down to London on Thursday, in which case I can try and hit another independent bookshop here. But if I can't, I might buy a couple of backup books from independent bookshops as I go up north. And one that I got from London Review of Books was the debut by Shirley Jackson, The Road Through the Wall. And this, I think, takes a really interesting look at suburbia and the secrets behind people's closed doors, which I love the sound of because I'm inherently nosy. Those were the books that I bought, and now I need to think about what I want to have for dinner. Fancy something noodly, I think. Oh, I meant to say, actually, one thing that I forgot to say yesterday when I went to Ink 84 and again when I went to London Review Bookshop, I completely and utterly forgot to take my book voucher with me, so I still have a £50 book voucher to spend, but I've also still supported 2 bookshops anyway. Tomorrow is book club, so I think I'm going to get Melanie to pick me a book from the Hoxton Books where we are filming. Anyway, going to chill out for a little bit now, because I've been talking about books for about 7 hours in quite a hot studio, and then obviously went off and did that walk and stuff. So yeah, just going to have a chill, possibly a little nap, and I will catch you later. Hi everyone, I'm in bed in my slightly sexy honcho t-shirt, which I was going to wear for book club tomorrow, and I thought it might be a bit much for the official Indie Bookshop Week book club, but still could be in my official indie, well, it's my official, not their official, Indie Bookshop Week vlog, because it is Pride after all, and I love this top. Melanie said it was 4, so she's going to be disappointed I don't wear it tomorrow. Anyway, enough of my t-shirt. I started The Employees. This is bonkers. We're on a ship called the 6000 ship, somewhere deep in space, where humans and humanoids are working together, and what we get is these vignettes of sort of their accounts. Some are very short, some are a little bit longer, and I do love a vignette book, so it's working on that level. What's going on is they're asked to analyse objects that they have encountered somehow, and sometimes you don't know whether it's a humanoid or a human talking. Sometimes you really, really do, and that's really, really fascinating. It's bonkers. I don't think I understand completely what the funk is going on, but I'm enjoying it. Yeah. Morning everyone, it is Tuesday and I am all packed. I've had my breakfast, it's been a whirlwind. I'm off to go and meet Melanie to go and record book club for Indie Bookshop Week. Very excited, and we're going to be relaunching the book club over the next month. It's changing its name and we're giving you 4 titles in advance that you can read. So yeah, check out that video. I think I've probably said that about 7 times, but it's because it's what's on my mind at the moment. And then after that, I'm gonna head to Newcastle on the train, which is where I used to live with my mum when she was at university and I was about 3. She was 19 and I was about 3. Hopefully tomorrow see Grace. I've got a libraries event during the day, which is so exciting for my project. The first physical one I've been to since September. I mean, imagine. Oh, and there's the football tonight, which I'll be watching because I do really like the Euro. Anyway, that's all for me in this info dump. I will see you on the other side probably with snippets throughout.
Born ready.
I'm not. Lazy gay, lazy everything.
I'm lazy lesbian, we know this.
And welcome to Book Club. Hi everyone. So Melanie and I have recorded book club.
Yes.
We have. And as I said, Melanie's going to pick a book for me to read, but she's actually picked a book that we're both getting.
Yeah, he didn't like my first few choices. I don't know what you've got against about reading about Putin.
I'm not giving him any of my brain power, Melanie. Any.
It's better to understand it. Know your enemy. Anyway, we've decided to go for David Hockney's latest book, Spring Cannot Be Cancelled. And I love this man, I love his work, and I love everything that he says. So I'm definitely going to love everything that he's written.
And so she picked it for me because I don't know art as well as I should, but I do know a bit of Hockney.
Yes.
And I'm excited about reading it. Also,
Yes,
queer artist, Pride Month.
Yeah.
Could go on. These are all the reasons that Melanie chose it. Morning everyone, it is Wednesday and I don't think I filmed much last night. On the train I finished The Employees. I've got a dash short, I'll tell you more about that later. I started, as you've seen, Melanie picked Spring Cannot Be Cancelled, nearly hit myself in the face with it, by David Hockney and Martin Gayford, and I decided this is a book I need to dip in and out of for the rest of the week, but I will try and get it finished by Sunday before this vlog wraps up. So far there's kind of letters and thoughts, as well as picking up that book on Melanie's recommendation. I bought myself Minor Detail by Adania Shibli, which I have started. It's translated from, let me find it, translated by Elizabeth Jaquette. It doesn't say where from. I started a little bit of this on the train, but I haven't got very far, so I'll report back on all of those later. But now I need to go and have some breakfast and then get on a very early train to head to a school near Hexham, where they're responding to the novels that shaped our world list and some adventure books by making puppets with paper mache. So I think that's going to be super duper fun. And then we'll try and head to the library, because I've heard Hexham Library is amazing. And I also want to go to Cogito Books because it's Independent Bookshop week. So I'll take you along for all of that, possibly chatting along the way, possibly not. It depends how much of a whirlwind it is. So I'm now in Hexham. That's actually the library hiding in Queen's Hall, which I will have shown you, and is absolutely stunning. I'm now going to go to Cogito Books because it is Independent Bookshop week, as well as me obviously loving libraries for my day job, and then head back to Newcastle and then go and see Grace of GK Reads. Very exciting. Look who I'm with.
Vlog inception.
It is. It's like, what do they call it? It's meta. Yeah. We've gone meta and hungry. Look who I'm with. It's Grace.
Hi.
We've been out for a lovely dinner, but before we did, we went to the Bound, the new bookshop in Whitley Bay, and Grace picked me a book.
I did. It is The Long Call by Anne Cleeves. Simon told me that he'd never read an Anne Cleeves book before, which shocked
You almost fainted.
disturbed me.
She was almost on the floor, down.
She's a delight. Anne Cleeves is a crime author. She lives in Whitley Bay. Actually, she's a big supporter of The Bound, so it feels very fitting. I think this is also, is it signed?
Well, it said it was. It claimed to be, but I don't.
She's just she's so amazing. She does like so much for reading development. Anyway, has a lot of series. Vera Shetland. You've seen them on TV. This is the first one in her new series, and I just thought, I don't know. I know it's like maybe not one of the most popular, but something was calling out to me with Simon. I think you really like it. It's like very plotty.
Is it long calling out to you because it's called The Long Call?
It was long calling out to me. Just very plotty. It's got a great main character and his husband who live in Devon, and it's like he's a police officer, and it's just an interesting.
Is it a gay police officer?
It is a gay police officer.
Oh, in Pride Month as well.
Exactly.
She's gone all out.
Exactly. So yeah, I hope he enjoys it. I read it all in one day about a year ago because I was gripped. So yeah, this is my pick.
No pressure on the reading it in one day. Well, there we go. I shall report back. Bye.
Bye.
Morning everyone, it is Thursday and I had such a lovely evening with Grace last night. I had a mad dash between coming back from Hexham, getting changed and then going to see Grace, so I didn't share what I bought in Cogito Books, which was lovely, and the stuff there was fabulous. I mean, the whole day yesterday was fabulous. The kids were amazing with their puppets. They made some puppets that I couldn't make at 39 and they weren't even 8. The library was amazing and I got a really lovely tour off Jenny there, and that was fabulous. I went to Cogito Books and had a really lovely chat with them, and as I said, picked up a book there, which was, can't even get it out. The book I got back aside is Pig Iron by Benjamin Myers, which is one of Benjamin's backlist books I have not read yet. So I'm really excited to see this. I really like the ice cream cover, so I got that one. And then, like I said, I came back here, then I went to go and meet Grace, got changed and everything, showered, freshened myself up for her, and then we went to the Bound, it was called, and it's such a beautiful bookshop. And I got Grace and Eleanor Ferrante book. She picked me, as you've seen, this Anne Cleeves book, The Long Call, who is a crime writer I've wanted to read for ages, so I'm looking forward to heading to this. And I've also got myself, because I've heard amazing things about it. Particularly, I remember Kit DeWall talking about it and it sounding amazing. Leonard and Hungry Paul by Ronan Hession, which is from an independent publisher called Blue Moose Books. And I have to say, particularly in Ink at 84 and Hoxton Books and The Bound, the plethora of amazing independent presses and some amazing sounding books almost could have like bankrupted me. I mean, I did finally use my book voucher yesterday, so that was good. But yeah, those are the books that I got yesterday. Now I'm gonna go and have some breakfast and get the train home, edit Independent Bookshop Week book club video with Melanie, and yeah, get home and probably do a premiere of that later. So lots of reading as well, hopefully on the train. Depends how long it takes to edit. Hi everyone, I am home from Newcastle. I'm exhausted, but before I fall into some kind of real housewife coma of relaxation and ridiculousness, I thought I would tell you about what I have been reading, going from Real Housewives to these two books, which are on their international booker long list, and one was on the short list. Seems slightly ridiculous, but hey, that's my channel in a nutshell. First up was The Employees by Olga Ravn, which is translated from Danish by Martin Aitken. And this is set on the 6000 ship, which is a spaceship where humans and humanoids are working together. And there are objects that have come onto this ship, and through statements we hear how those objects start to affect both the humans and the humanoids in various different ways. And one thing that I absolutely loved about this, two things I loved about it. There's lots of things I loved about this book, because this was a real surprise to me. I was not expecting to love it, and I'd seen quite a few reviews of it that were really tempting, and then CJ Reeds pushed me over the edge. I wasn't expecting to love a science fiction book. It is told in vignettes, which I do really like, so that kind of added to the delight of it. Although they're all statements, and again, I was thinking, statements, that's maybe not going to work for me. But the way you can't tell, well, sometimes you can tell, but a lot of the times you can't tell whether human or humanoid are narrating the segment or the statement to you. And as it goes on, this book really kind of builds up this whole thing about the differences and similarities we have between others. It looks at life and death and grief and wanting to belong and finding your place and what makes us human. There is so much in here. And the thing that I loved overall, which was the thing I was going to say, I originally loved the one thing, but like I said, there's lots of things, was how this sense of unease grew and grew and grew and grew and grew as you read on. And I just, I thought this was really, really brilliant. And I'm so glad that I got to it. And without quite a lot of lovely folk on YouTube and obviously the Booker International, I wouldn't have read it, and that would have been a shame. So I need to find more sort of science fiction with a twist, I guess, like this. Although there's all science fiction of a twist, I don't really read that much of it, so I don't know. Then, a book, now that was on the shortlist for the Booker International. This was on the long list, and it's Minor Detail by Adania Shibli. Sorry, Oscar's come to join me for a chat. It's translated from Arabic by Elizabeth Jacquet. This book is really, really interesting and very, I don't like the term interesting. I say interesting to everything. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Interestingly, anyway, let's all move on from saying that. We followed this soldier around for the first 40 pages or so. It's quite mundane, that's what I was looking for, and routine. And of course, being a soldier would be. Thank you for your thoughts, Oscar, that's very kind of you. Yeah, anything else? Really? What about on page 55? Oh, goodness. This book is very much a book of two halves, and in the first half we follow a soldier. It's very mundane as he goes about his routine, an Israeli soldier, I should say, sorry. And at one point he gets bitten by what he assumes is a spider, and we follow as that venom starts to run through his veins, which I thought might be some sort of nod to power, and how once you get a little bit of power, it spreads within you and it can go in awful directions, as this does. As they, without giving too much away, they come across a group of people who they kill as they allow a dog and a young girl to survive, and they take the young girl back to the camp, and it's pretty horrific what follows. What initially I thought was this mundane voice becomes this really cool, collected, raping and killing a young girl means nothing. It's just a minor detail in my life, and I'm more bothered about the venom in my leg. That's what the soldier's kind of narrative is, and how you realise that probably there's a lot more incidents like this that's happened to this soldier, but it seems so minimal to him. Then we flip to 25 years later-ish, I think it is, when we meet a woman who has become quite fixated on this minor detail, and she wants to find out more about what happened, how it happened, why it happened, and also why these small moments in war don't get covered or looked at as much as the bigger ones, and often it's a minor detail again. And so we follow her, and there's this very clever mirroring, but yet in the second half this intricacy that was lacking in the first half. But the first half is because of the distance and it's kind of almost psychopathic narrational mindset versus this real passionate, really wanting to do good and to find out the story of what happened on that day in August 1949. Very, very powerful. As you can see, I could talk a lot about this a lot more. One thing I will say though, and I'm good about this, is I don't buy Fitzcarrald editions very often, I will say, because I always think they're going to be pretentious, and this is not pretentious, it's brilliant. But I was really good, because as I was reading, and the book just started to slowly fall apart. So I've got a few pages that have come out of it, and I'm just like, that ain't good. So that's a small aside. But yeah, there we go. Anyway, I'm going to go and watch The Real Housewives now. I'm exhausted. And tomorrow it was meant to be a day off, but I've got to do lots of filming for bits and bobs, but I'll update you then. But for now, it's Real Housewives of Atlanta, Potomac, and Beverly Hills. That's going to be the rest of my day. Maybe some Drag Race.
You look great, Simon.
Thank
you. You look so handsome.
Oh, stop it.
Look at you, honestly.
So dapper. What's that? Lockdown hotness happening.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, it's just
Actually made me cry with laughter, Simon.
Hi everyone, it is about 8 o'clock on Saturday the 25th of June, and I realise I haven't spoken to you probably today or shown you my amazing Love Your Colours Elmer Pride t-shirt, which I'm absolutely obsessed with. Today was meant to be a day off, but it hasn't quite worked like that because I ended up having to do some filming with Andy and Elizabeth for, well, I can leave you to imagine what that might have been for. Oh, Millie's crying at the door because I've shut her out. She's also not been very well, so I've had to kind of watch her a little bit. Although she's better now, so don't worry about her. Then needed to film quite a bit of stuff for Desmond Elliott Prize. All right, Millie, I'm coming in a minute. Millie! What? Well, goodness me. So anyway, that chatter, although it was worth this just being the clip for today anyway. Then I had to film a video for Patreon for my weekly Savage Shenanigans, which is a video I do where every week I just sit and chat about what's been going on with a few clips from that week. I also filmed, I do for another tier, like extra YouTube videos, so I unboxed some posts from while I've been away and shared some of the books that I bought this week. And then I filmed a mid-year freakout tag, and all of this sounds like it shouldn't take until nearly 8 o'clock like it has, but it has. So there we go. I've also edited them, and that takes ages. That's where we are. It's now time for dinner. Chris hasn't really seen me today since he got back from work, and Millie's shouting at me, so I better go. I'll update you on all things books later or tomorrow. So we've been shopping, we've been shopping around Oswestry, and I've got a whole bag of books, but I can't show you them all yet because some might be surprises for Chris for Cosy Reading Night, the Independent Bookshop edition. But one that I did want to show you that I bought because we're off to see Chris's mum, so I got her a copy, and I've already bought this one this week, I know. The Mission House by Carys Davies, because it's got a quote by me in it, but I also think she'll like it. So we're off there now. Hi everyone, it is later on Saturday. I think it's about 7:15ish, so almost time for Cosy Reading Night. Lauren is doing one for Independent Bookshop Week. And speaking of Independent Bookshop Week, I have been to Oswestry, which I did not explain earlier. You've just seen suddenly pictures of Oswestry out of nowhere. Must remember to introduce what I'm doing as well as outroduce what I'm doing. Anyway, moving on. Had a lovely time in Oswestry, went to Bookshop as well as to a really nice cafe, and just potted around charity shops and got, oh actually hang on, I need to show you them. 1 fire dog, 2 Staffordshire fire dogs, £10. £10. Tomorrow, which won't be in the vlog because I'm actually going to end it here before Cosy Reading Night, because I just want to switch off for an evening and devour possibly a whole book. I thought I was going to be able to do 2, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Tomorrow I'm off antique hunting with Jen Ashworth, which you'll see in next week's vlog, but that has set the bar high, those 2 for £10. Anyway, back onto what I bought in Booker in Oswestry. I got myself some coasters. You can never have too many coasters. I love a cup of tea. I like to have them here, there and everywhere. So I got one which is The Wizard of Oswestry, because Oswestry is where Booker is, and I just think that's brilliant, by L. Frank Baum. And the other one is, and this made me laugh on a childish level, as well as the fact that this is a name of a town very near Oswestry, Last Tango in Pant. To the books, I got myself a paperback of The First Woman by Jennifer Nansubuga Makumbi, which is winner of the Jalak Prize, and it's got one of this, there's this new sort of, I was going to say, why is there this trend? I don't mind it actually, but there is this new trend for this sort of sort of almost cover and then all the quotes underneath. I don't know what that's about. It's a whole new movement in publishing. I picked these next two books because what I was going to do was to get Chris to pick me one of these to read after I'd finished the book that I thought I was going to finish in Cozy Reading Night, but I don't think I'm going to now, because after we went to Oswestry, we went back via Chris's mum and dad's because they had a corner cabinet that they are letting us have. They've just moved house for the first time in 54 years, and so they've got lots of extra furniture. We ended up being there for ages, having a lovely, lovely time, so I just haven't read as much. So anyway, I've still got them to read in the future though, so that's exciting. First up, it's This Lovely City. Did I say it's because I want to read more Caribbean linked / themed fiction? If I didn't, that's why. Yeah, This Lovely City by Louise Hare, which is about a man who's not long arrived in the UK off the Windrush, and he one morning discovers something terrible, and it all follows on from there. So I think it's a bit of a thriller without a thriller cover. Interesting. And then Kai Miller, I just want to read everything by. So I got August Town, and this is everything by, even though I've not read anything by him, I just do because I've discovered him more recently, and yeah, I'm desperate to get to this one. I don't know what it's about. It's set in August Town in the Caribbean, and I want to read more of his work, so I picked it up because it was there. Then I got a book that I think me and Chris will read. It's Melissa Harrison's The Stubborn Light of Things. We won't talk about the fact that I don't like other people touching my book bags once I've done them, because invariably they'll just chuck them around, and then look what happened to this. The whole cover bent. I don't know if you can see it, because somebody didn't listen to me. This is about Melissa leaving London to move to Suffolk, and it's a nature diary of the things that she noticed and the changes in that scenery, which is obviously huge, and everything in between. So yeah, I'm really, really excited for that one. For Chris, definitely, I got In the Garden, Essays on Nature and Growing, which has authors such as Penelope Lively, Paul Mendes, Nigel Slater. Maybe I'll read this afterwards. Anyway, Chris is mad on gardening, and I thought this would be something for him to be able to dip in and out of during Cozy Reading Night. So that is that. Now, as I mentioned, Cozy Reading Night, I thought I was going to be able to finish a book off in it, and this is where I'm going to be finishing the vlog, even though I'm going off on so many tangents. It's untrue, because this is how my brain works at the moment. I have not got very far into The Long Call by Anne Cleeves, which Grace picked for me. So this is what I'm going to be reading during Cozy Reading Night, possibly dipping into more of Spring Cannot Be Cancelled by David Hockney, which I've not mentioned much because it's so beautiful and pristine. I didn't want to end it with a cracked cover or dinted cover or anything like that. I literally padded it throughout all of my train journeys, so I haven't read any since I first started it, but I'll be heading back to that. So I haven't technically read everything that I bought from Bookshops, but I have only read books that I bought from Bookshops this week, and it's been such a joy. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed going into all the bookshops and stuff with me, and Hexham Library, which was stunning. Next week I'm off to Portsmouth, and I believe there is one independent bookshop that I'm going to try and get to, as well as libraries, because I'll be working in libraries, so I will film some footage of that. And yeah, let me know other things you would like to see in the vlogs. That's it. At the end, I could waffle on for hours. I can't do endings of videos, so I'm just going to say I hope you're all well. I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.